Hello everyone, my name is Ario Hamonangan and we're from Group A. So today we want to present our presentations about code igniter security systems. Definitions of code igniters and how to work. So code igniter is a toolkit for people who build a web application using PHP. Its goal is to enable you to develop projects much faster than you could if you were writing code from scratch, and by providing a rich set of library for commonly needed stacks, as well as a simple interface and logical structure to access this library. And Code Igniter lets you greatly focus on your project by minimizing the amount of code needed for a given task. So how is the Code Igniter works? Code Igniter is an MVC framework. MVC is a model view controllers, and when you assume that you are looking for information, the controller will respond to your request. Then present the information you are looking for it is available. So for example is, if you want to find ID 3, then the controller will respond to your request. Then ask the model to retrieve data from ID 3. So the model will then pass the data back to the controller. The controller will present the data to the view in an easily recognizable format, and the result will appear in your browser. And this is the code igniter advantage. Code igniter is fast, light, and reliable. Code igniter is the easiest way to take advantage of modular programs, and PHP Code igniter is compatible with most web servers, various operating systems, and platforms. Code igniter is also can be used in many database management systems, and has the same programming language used on the website. So Code igniter has a large community, so you can easily find information when you have trouble in code igniters. They are also compatible with various types of database and beginners friendly with user guide documentation available. And next, this is the type of code igniter security systems. First, we have SQL injection preventions. So SQL injections is an attack made on database query. In PHP, we are use MySQL real escape string function to prevent this along with other techniques, but Code igniter provides inbuilt functions and libraries to prevent this. And next we have hiding PHP errors. So in production environments, we often do not want to display any error message to the users. It is good if it is enabled in the development environments for debugging purposes. So this error message may contain some information which we should not show to the site users for security reasons. And next we have XSS filtering. So code igniters come with a cross-site scripting prevention filters, which looks for commonly used technique to trigger JavaScripts or other types of code that attempt to hijack cookies or do other malicious things. If anything disallowed is encountered, it is rendered safe by converting the data to character entities. And next we have CRF protections. So CRF stands for cross-site request forgery, which is the process of an attacker tricking their victim into unknowingly submitting a request. So code igniters provide CRF protection out of the box, which will get automatically triggers for every non-get HTTP request, but also need you to create your submit forms in a certain way. And next, and the last we have password handling. It is critical that you handle passwords in your application properly. Unfortunately, many developers don't know how to do that, and the web is full out of the date or otherwise wrong full advice. which doesn't help. And coordinator would like to give you a list of combined do's and don'ts to help you with that. And this is the one of the code igniter securities, SQL injection preventions. SQL injections, as I say, is an attack made on database query. In PHP, we are use MySQL scripting function to prevent this, along with other techniques, but coordinator provides inbuilt functions and library to prevent this. So we can prevent SQL injections in coordinators in the following 3 ways. And first is we have escaping queries. In escaping queries, we have example code. We have PHP username, this input post username, query select from subscribers table where username, this db escape email, and this db query. So this db escape is function automatically add single quotes around the data and determines the data type so that it can escape on the string data. And next we have query binding. So in this query binding example codes, we have PHP SQL select from some table where ID question mark and status question mark and order question marks. This db query SQL array tree leaf and rig. So in the above example, the question mark will be replaced by the array in the second parameter of query functions over here. And the main advantage of building query this way is that the value are automatically escaped, which produce Ceph query. Coordinator engines does it for you automatically, so you do not have to remember it. And last, for SQL injections, we have active record crash. In the example of the code is PHP. This db get where's subscriber table array status active email and info at arjun.net.in. So using active records, query syntax is generated by each database adapter. It also allows Ceph query since the value escape automatically. Okay, that's it for my presentations. And the next will be explained with my friends, hiding PHP errors and the others. Thank you for listening.
Okay, my name is Leonard Philip Sabbathani Pasaribu. I will continue our presentation. I will now explain to you about how to hide PHP errors. So there are 3 code igniter files related with errors. The first one is PHP error reporting level. Different environment requires different levels of error reporting. By default, development will show errors, but testing and live will hide them. There is a file called index.php in root directory of code igniter or wherever you put uh, the, the file in, which is used for this purpose. If we pass 0 as argument to error reporting function, then that will hide all the errors. The second one is database error. Even if you have turned off the PHP errors, MySQL errors are still open. You can turn this off in application/config/database.php. Set the db_debug option in add db array to false as shown below. If you do not know what this dollar means, it's basically a variable in your database. So we set the db default db debug to equals false. The third one is error log. Another way is to transfer the errors to log files, so it will not be displayed to users on the site. Simply set the log threshold, the value in config array to 1 and application config/config php file as shown below. So instead of showing errors, it will instead send all those data to the log files. This means that yes, the error is still there, but we are hiding it through using the log files. So here is the example: config log threshold equals 1. And then I'm going to explain about XXS filtering. CodeIgniter comes with a cross-site scripting prevention filter, which looks for commonly used techniques to trigger JavaScript or other types of code that attempt to hijack cookies or do other malicious things. If anything disallowed is encountered, it is rendered safe by converting the data to character entities. So how do we filter the data through the XS? We use the XSS underscore clean method. So you basically you type data equals this security XSS clean data. An optional second parameter is image. Allows this function to be used to test images for potential XSS attacks, useful for file upload security. When the second parameter is set to true, instead of returning an altered string, the function returns true if the image is safe, and false if it contains potential malicious information that the browser may attempt to execute. So the bottom one is the example. If this security access underscore clean x file true equals files. And then we are going to talk about CSRF protection. So what is CSRF really? CSRF stands for cross-site request forgery, which is the process of an attacker tricking their victim into unknowingly submitting a request. CodeIgniter provides CSRF protection out of the box, which will get automatically triggered for every non-GET HTTP request, but also needs you to create your own submit forms in a certain way. You can prevent this attack by enabling it in the application /config/config PHP file as shown below. So this is the code. You can copy paste this. When you are creating form using form open function, it will automatically insert a CSRF as a hidden field. You can also manually add the CSRF using the get underscore CSRF underscore token underscore name and get underscore CSRF hash function. The get CSRF token name function will return the name of the CRF, and get CSRF hash, the hash one will return the hash value of CSRF. The CRF token can be regenerated every time for submission, or you can also keep it some throughout the life of the CRF cookie. By setting the value true, in config array with key CSRF regenerate will regenerate token as shown below. So this is the token. You can also whitelist URLs from CSRF protection by setting it in the config array using the CRF exclude URLs. This is not I, this is supposed to be L. URLs as shown below. You can also use a regular expression. So how do we handle password? Or let's talk about password handling. It is critical that you handle passwords in your application properly. Unfortunately, many developers don't know how to do that, and the web is full of outdated or otherwise wrongful advices, which really doesn't help. We would like to give you a list of combined do's and don'ts to help you with that. So here are some do nots that we have listed for you. The first one is to not store passwords in plain text format. Always hash your password. Basically encrypting your passwords. Second one is do not use base64 or similar encoding for storing passwords because it is outdated. Third one is do not use weak or broken hashing algorithms like MD5 or SHA1. For some developers, this one may be easy, but it is not recommended as it is weak and has a weak hashing algorithm. The fourth is do not ever display or send a password in plain text format. This is a no-brainer. You're not supposed to send important data in a plain text format. You should always use hash. The last one is do not put unnecessary limits on your user's passwords. Unnecessary limits will mean that it limits the strength of the password, and you do not want to limit or limit the strength of your user's password because it means that the passwords will all be weak. So in conclusion, based on the results of research and discussion that have been carried out, it can be concluded that by using the CodeIgniter framework, first, CodeIgniter is PHP framework used to develop applications. Second, the entire source code in CodeIgniter is only 2 megabytes, which makes it easy to learn and how it works. Third, the built-in features of CodeIgniter are designed to work independently without having to depend on other components, which makes it a really good framework. Code Igniter framework using MVC architectural design. So for you guys who don't know what MVC is, MVP is for mobile control, mobile view and control. So basically it is mobile, you do not have to be on one place to use it. V view, you can view it, and C control, you can also control it. Code Igniter is well documented. There are lots of tutorials and forums for Q&A or question and answers. Code Igniter has libraries similar to other PHP programming languages. Code Igniter is very easy to master for anyone who knows PHP. In Code Igniter, the user requests information. The controller responds to the request and presents the information as requested. So next, this is our suggestion for the Code Igniter framework. The first one is we want the system to be able to upload multiple images at the same time. Second is optimizing the use of Code Igniter framework technology by using libraries, active records, helpers, and security that are already available in Code Igniter. Third one is improve business management. The fourth one is to able to reduce the load on the network when loading by optimizing the use of JavaScript technology. That is all for our presentation. Thank you for listening to our presentation. We hope uh, what we have presented today is useful and benefits us all. Thank you for listening.